the Charleston Battery welcome the Tampa Bay Rowdies to MUSC Health Stadium for the second time this season and their third and final meeting overall. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. My name's Poppy Miller. I'll be your host for tonight's game. Alongside me, ex-Battery Pro and leading goal scorer of all time for the Charleston Battery, Paul Conway. Paul, thank you so much for being with us. Great to have you here. It's always a fantastic matchup against the Rowdies. Only one goal has separated the earlier two games this season, but for them, they need points to stay within those playoff contentions. One of the players that we'll be keeping our eye on tonight that's been on fantastic goal-scoring form is Sebastian Guenzati.
Yeah, we have two in-form strikers tonight, and picked up his first 3 goals of the season last year in a hat-trick and much-needed 3 points against North Carolina.
He's the USL Player of the Week, and keep your eye on him tonight, linking with Junior Flemings in the attack, who assisted 2 of the 3 goals that he scored against North Carolina FC last week. Well, for Mike Anhauser's side, another goal scorer that's come into fantastic form with 3 goals in the past 2 games, it's striker Patrick Okonkwo.
Yeah, another player on form, and it couldn't have been a better timing for Mike Anhauser, losing his leading scorer this week to national team duty and suspension. And the loanee in from Atlanta has stepped in and put 3 in the last 2 games.
You're absolutely right. They'll be without Atula Guerra tonight, but he stepped in with the trio up top. And like you said, on absolutely fantastic form. So keep your eye on him, setting up his teammates and finding the back of the net himself. And there he is, celebrating against the Red Bulls too. Well, I managed to catch up with him earlier this week to talk about tonight's match.
Based on how we play and how they play, I think it's all based on how we attack and how we move with the ball. So if we get an opportunity to finish, we're definitely going to take our chances.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium for tonight's USL match. The Charleston Battery are about set to host the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Poppy Miller alongside Charleston Battery legend Paul Conway. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match wherever you are. Well, as you can see, we are almost to kick off, but while we have a second, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups presented by Banner. Well, for Neil Collins' side, a new formation in the last couple of games. Veteran goalkeeper Daniel Vega gets the nod in goal. Across the back three, it'll be Morad, Dikite and Gorski. Aduro will sit just in front of the back line. Fernandez on the left, Cole and Poku in the middle, and Taku on the right. And the pairing up top, we mentioned them in the pre-game, they're on fantastic form. It's Junior Flemings and Sebastian Guenzati. Well, for Mike Anhauser's side, it's Kubsminski that starts between the sticks, looking for his 11th clean sheet tonight. The three-man back line, it's Leland Archer, Taylor Mueller and Skylar Thomas. Bolt on the left, Rittmeyer on the right. And the trio up top tonight that everybody will be keeping their eye on, it's Patrick Okonkwo, Ian Svanterson and Japanese veteran Kotaro Higashi. And there he is, the 6'6" striker, Ian Svanterson. It's going to be him to get us away from MUSC Health Stadium. Well, Paul, the Battery have only lost one game at home so far this season. However, the Rowdies desperate to pick up those points to get in playoff contentions. Both teams coming out with a three-man back line. What can we expect to see tonight?
I see, two informed strikers. I see some goals tonight. Obviously, the Battery are missing a few players to suspension and international duty, so they've got a few fresh bodies in the lineup, which may be a good thing this time of year after so many games. The temperature's not too bad tonight, so I could see both teams getting after each other. Very
nice temperatures, 84 degrees here in Charleston, South Carolina. And a quick note, both leading goal scorers for either side are either unavailable for selection, Atula Guerra, and for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Bonomo is out for selection tonight. So we will keep our eye on the strikers and let's see how they can step in and do the job. It's Flemings on this near flank. We mentioned his chemistry up top with Guenzati, assisted 2 of the 3 that he scored against North Carolina FC. And you'll notice that the Battery are not in their typical uniform tonight. They'll be in the blue kit, which we'll talk about throughout the broadcast. Those jerseys are available for auction. All the money and the proceeds goes to the North Charleston COP Athletic Program. And we'll get into that a bit more throughout. In the middle of the park. Poku really has been the anchor for the Rowdies. Daniel Vega gets his first touches on the ball. The 34-year-old makes his 4th start tonight. The Argentine has 1 clean sheet on the season so far. And for Mike Anhauser on the other end, somebody that maybe doesn't have quite as much experience but having a fantastic season, looking for his 11th clean sheet, it's Joe Kuzminski.
Yeah, he's done quite well. Recently against New York, probably a couple goals went in that he regretted a little bit, but for the most part, he's had a great season for the Battery. I know Dusty Hudak is big on him, and Dusty's been working on him over the last year or two, and I think that work is paid off.
Just 24 years old, the UAB product is in his 2nd season with the Battery and really has been relishing these opportunities. Here comes Patrick Okonkwo on the attack. Can he find the space into the box? It's still Okonkwo, takes the deflection and over the bar. But half a chance for the Battery in the early going, Paul.
Yeah, it did well. The keeper actually did very well in the end there, just falling back, was able to get that over the bar. But again, both teams playing 3 at the back, the space is going to be on the outside. We just see there the keeper, a little reflex save there. And the defender just heads it away there for safety.
It looks like it did take a deflection. All replays brought to you tonight by Baker Roof, and it's going to be the Japanese veteran Kotaro Higashi to trot over and take it. It'll be an outswinger from the far side, a good lofted delivery into the box. You can see Skylar Thomas there making his way up with Taylor Mueller. And sometimes that can be a bit risky, sending your centre-backs forward, all 3 of them, especially when you're only playing a 3-man back line and only leaving 1 player back.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous. Even though I played up front, I was always a conservative coach, and I'd like to have numbers at the back. But the game's evolving, and the game's a lot more attacking today than it even was 10 years ago.
You're, of course, back at your old stomping grounds. We mentioned in the pre-game, Paul Conway leading all-time goal scorer for the Charleston Battery. How strange is it for you to be back here, sat up here tonight?
Well, I definitely can't be out there anymore, I'll tell you that. So I'm past that day. No, it's always good to come back here. Obviously, lots of good memories, and fortunate to still live in Charleston. And it's been a great place to play and raise a family.
Well, we're absolutely thrilled to have you back. Here comes Joe Cole, a good ball over to the flank. Here comes Taku, one-on-one with Bolt. It kicks into the box, and Kuzminski nice and composed from him. Always important to get your first couple of touches on the ball, especially for the goalkeepers. Plays out the back. It's Thomas. Typically we see Thomas on the right-hand side and Neville Hackshaw on the left. He was away with international duty with the Trinidad and Tobago national team. They played the United Arab Emirates on Thursday in Girona. He is on the bench tonight, but just very difficult when you're adjusting getting back onto American time zone.
Yeah, travel's tough. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of talk around the world really about this international date. You know, it's not ideal for any league, MLS included.
Here comes Nico Rittmeyer. He puts one into the box, forces the clearance out the back from Dekite. Rittmeyer so speedy on the flank. Here he is again. Can he find the shot at the top of the box? The ball puts through, no worries for Vega. But back to your point, Paul.
Yeah, I was just saying it's tough, you know, breaking the season. The English Premierships, you know, 4 or 5 games in the season. Now they take basically a 2-week break, and it's just you know, in lower division clubs, the same problem around the world. You lose players rather than stop your season, so it's difficult to adjust. But it gives others opportunities, which is, as I said earlier, is probably needed. Absolutely.
Well, 24 USL players are representing their countries over the next 2 weeks, and of course, Atula Guerra was also one of them. However, he is on suspension tonight, so won't be on the bench. But Neville Hackshaw, like we said, available for selection. Kuzminski takes his time for the battery to get organised. Lofty ball to the top. And Nunga picks it up in the middle of the park. Brian Nunga, another mainstay for Mike Anhauser, started every single game this season, apart from the one he missed on international duty with the Cameroonian international team. So keep your eye on him tonight. Just 22 years old, 3 goals and 2 assists on the season so far. Higashi takes a touch inside, across the park, invites Archer forward. A positive touch. Archer looks like he's looking for the cross into the box. Here it comes, and cleared away by the back line. The danger isn't over. But could this bring up a counter-attack opportunity? It's Guenzati and Flemings. Battery tracking back in numbers. And Archer gives the free kick. That's been one of the good things about the Battery this season, is just the transition back into defense, especially when you're playing with 3 at the back.
Yeah, and that was a smart decision there to take the foul, to be honest, because it stops the transition. One of the things you're susceptible to playing 3 at the back is counterattacks, you know, especially when you push, you know, the wide midfielders forward, or if you're playing 4 at the back. You know, the vogue thing today is to push your fullbacks forward, which again, you know, leaves a lot of space out wide, especially when you lose the ball.
Kelly in the middle with a challenge on Opoku. Runs all the way back to Dekite. 25-year-old makes his 8th start tonight for the Rowdies. His first season signed on July 20th. And we were talking a bit about the game, about the changes that Neil Collins had made to the side since he has taken over as head coach. Here comes Higashi. Can he find the space in the box? He threads one through to Bolt across the box, and Vega gets down to it.
Yeah, Jay Bowles did very well there. I had the opportunity to spend a few days with the Battery back in February when they were putting the squad together. You know, he's been doing well taking people on. You know, to be fair, he could do with a run across the near post there, although that one was a little bit close to the keeper.
Talking to head coach Mike Anhauser earlier this week, talking about the cohesion of the team and how he's able to maximize not a very numerically big roster, but we've seen several changes to the lineup despite not having too many players on the bench, especially with a couple out, either suspended or injury tonight. Vincenzo Candela out with suspension, as well as Atula Guerra and Van Schaik unavailable for selection tonight. The referee for tonight's match, Rubio Vasquez, he is going to give this in favor of the home side.
Yeah, just a little bit of nudge. 2 big lags going for the ball. And there's going to be an interesting battle between those 2 tonight to see who wins that over the 90 minutes.
It's going to be Kotaro Higashi again over the dead ball. Was catching up with him in training earlier this week. His mum is over from Japan. Fantastic to see her. She'll be in the stands tonight. Always nice when you see them following along on Twitter from abroad. I'm thrilled to have her here in Charleston. It's Higashi. Good ball towards the PK spot. Takes a deflection. And it looked like Archer trying to recycle. No problem for Daniel Vega. Quickly played out the back. Gorski takes positive touches down this near side. The New York native has spent 3 seasons with the New York Cosmos and overseas before returning for his 2nd season with the Rowdies. Scored 1 goal on the season so far. A header goal off a set-piece opportunity, and that's typically what you see from the defenders, putting the height in the box.
Yeah, I was just listening to the radio the other day. I don't know if some of our viewers today will remember Steve Bruce had 20 goals for Manchester United as a center defender several years ago, which is quite a feat. But you can get goals, and the execution of set pieces is extremely important. I think past World Cup, statistically 40 to 50% of goals come through set pieces. So if you can get your big men forward, it's definitely an advantage.
And we definitely saw that with this World Cup just gone. I feel like every match I watched had a PK in it or some set piece opportunities. The Ronaldo one sticks out the most for me.
Who?
Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
How could you forget? Rittmeyer on the far side wins the throw. Brings the battery up. Fans, let me remind you that Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50. Vega again chooses to play out the back. Morad goes out wide. The pressure's there from Okonkwo. The battery front line sitting quite high, keeping them pinned back. It's Svantesson with the pressure, forces the ball back to the goalkeeper. Thomas dinks the ball into the attack. Picked up in the middle of the park, Poku. Out wide, here comes Taku, up to Flemings. Flemings finds his footing, takes his space, looking for Gwenzati. Can he thread the ball in? Like he just lost his footing. Nico Rittmeyer, safety first, out the back. Well, it's a slick surface out there. The field watered just before kickoff. And a very fast surface, natural grass surface here at MUSC Health Stadium. Higashi. Svantesson's on the run, finds him at the top of the box. Returns to sender. Here's Anunga. Looking for the lofty delivery, just couldn't make the right contact. Again, here's the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We'll talk about them looking to hit on the counter-attack. Poku out wide to Flemings. Gwenzati is making the run into the box. He takes a touch back, looking to get the strike away, and blocked by Thomas.
Yeah, Flemings did well there. Again, a little bit of a counterattack. The batter have got numbers forward, and again, the team's susceptible to balls down the outside. He just tried to come back inside on his left foot there, and it was a good block by Thomas.
Junior Flemings, the one to watch tonight. 5 goals and 5 assists on the season so far. The Jamaican international is having a stellar year. Up comes Archer, across in the middle of the park. Higashi doesn't have numbers with him. Recycled into the attack by Anunga. Here comes Bolt. Jay Bolt in his first season with the battery. 2 assists on the season so far. Talking to him earlier this week, he said he knows he can find the back of the net, and that's what he's going to be looking for tonight. Setting up his teammates and playing more of a key role in joining the trio up top. Game is really opening up. Cole. We haven't mentioned his name yet.
No.
But just how much of an influence will he play on the team with the wealth of experience? 36 years old, but just the experience that he has is invaluable.
Exactly. You know, both in the dressing room and on the pitch. It's like having your manager on the pitch. You know, being able to, probably can't run like he did 10 years ago, but you know, just more and more experience as each year goes by. I think he's been in Tampa about 3 years now, and I know that's, you know, helped the club a lot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. His third season with the Rowdies, got 4 goals on the season so far, but the former Chelsea star just has so many accolades to his name. 3 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cup titles and 2 Community Shields. 40 goals over his Chelsea career, but also a huge standout for England and a massive name in European soccer.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to play against him when he was very young. There was quite a bit of age difference between me and Joe. He was in a reserve match, and it was back when Lampard, Cole, and you know, West Ham had a bevy of talent. They gave us a lesson. We beat them just on experience, but you could tell those players were going to be something special, even at a very young age.
Special he is. I had a chance to catch up with head coach Neil Collins earlier, just talking about his transition from player to head coach this season. He said it's so important to have players, leadership players like Joe Cole on the field, and to be able to go back and forth with him throughout the season, always on the same page. Plays such a key role in each match. I expect him to put in a big shift tonight. Rubio Vasquez just having a word up top with Swanterson, making sure he's okay. You can just see on the replay here, looks like he took a nasty knock to the head.
Yeah, Dakite is letting him know he's around, and you know, like I said before, 2 big lads, not going to give an inch.
Captain Taylor Mueller across the back. Mueller played every minute of every game last season for the Battery and has only missed 1 game so far this season. Wide to Bolt. Bolt on the attack, takes a good touch, he gets the strike away. Vega tracks across and collects, but that wasn't a bad attempt.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad at all, coming on the inside there.
Fernandez on the far side. Seems every time the Battery get a strike across, the Rowdies looking to hit on the counter-attack. Gorski into the middle. Poku just being the cog. The Rowdies enjoying a nice spell of possession. Poku. Pressure is there from Brian Anunga. Foul is on Aduro. You can see Swanterson there just dishing out his orders to the back line. Yeah,
here's the ball chance. You know, it's good. He's gone around the outside. He's coming inside now. So the fullback's going to be wondering which way he's going to go next. You know, obviously it's a big advantage to be able to play with both feet.
It's Joe Cole over the dead ball. Let's see what he can do with this. We mentioned already 1 assist on the season so far, 4 goals. And he's going to whip one into the box. Thomas is there with the clearance. Fleming's with the chase. Maduro for Cole. The trio in the middle working nicely. Morad across the back.
Yeah, the Battery have got 11 behind the ball now, and they're comfortable. Both teams are comfortable right now. Tampa keeping possession, the Battery just, you know, shifting side to side, making it difficult to be for Tampa to break through them.
And a difficult place to play for opposing teams. Like we mentioned, the Battery have only lost 1 game at home so far this season, and it was the very first game of the year against FC Cincinnati. Good ball into the box. Safety first from the captain, Mueller, and that's going to bring up the first set-piece opportunity for the visitors. And again, like you mentioned, Paul, the Battery not taking any chances, pulling everybody back to help defend in the box. Like it'll be Gorski to head across and take it. Head coach Neil Collins on your screen there. Made 9 appearances earlier this year for the Battery. Leo Fernandez, is going to take it. It's going to be an in-swinger from this near side. Again, another good delivery to the back post. Swanterson's there, and Kuzminski forced to make the save.
Yeah, it was a good challenge on the header there. It made it simple for the goalkeeper.
quick transition for the battery. Kuzminski for Okonkwo, who gets a good touch, looking for the spin. Just a bit too much pace on it.
Yeah, see the replay here. You know, both players going up and challenged the ball, and Joe took that comfortably.
Skorski at the back post. We mentioned in the pre-game, Patrick Okonkwo with 3 goals in the last 2 games. Very typical of the battery to not have the majority of the possession throughout the match, but to hit on the counter-attack. And that's what we've seen time and time again, especially here at home.
Yeah, Mike's had his team very disciplined for many years, and goes back to Chris Ramsey days, which Mike was an assistant there. Chris was a big advocate of you know, keeping your shape. I played up front for Chris, and I think I did more running up there than I did playing in midfield in England, to be honest.
Like they say, the defense starts from the striker.
It did back then, at least.
Takite across the back. Into the middle, Cole. Looking to inject a ball into the attack. Flemings is on the chase. And Mueller forced to clear out the back. The danger isn't over for the battery. Flemings again, can he get the ball into the box? Forces the ball off Kuzminski and out the back by Mueller. Here comes Rittmeyer. Game looked like it could really open up now. The Rowdies throwing numbers forward. Bolt takes his space. Doesn't have many options. A good, solid challenge from Aduro. Aduro with great speed in the middle. Keep your eye on him tonight. Just working the ball around the middle of the park. Came through the Man City youth system. Just 23 years old. Makes his 13th start tonight for Neil Collins. Lofty ball from the fullback Thomas. This could be a chance for the battery. It's Higashi, takes a step around, and that is going to be a goal kick, said the referee. I thought he was going to give a free kick there, but he's waved Higashi up.
Yeah, he didn't look too impressed. We'll hopefully see this again, the replay. It looked like a foul to me at first glance, because he's done very well. Higashi's going at it, he's just stuck a leg out there, and again, yeah, that probably was a free kick, and to be fair to the referee there, he may not have seen the hand that came across the body. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, that one.
Here comes Vega to take the goal kick. Fans, the USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL. It's Patrick Okonkwo. Can he find the one-on-one opportunity? The strike is there! It's Okonkwo! Patrick Okonkwo gets his 4th goal of the year. And what a week it's been for him, Paul.
Yeah, we said we had 2 informed strikers coming into the game. A great combination between the 2 front players there. And Okonkwo steadies himself and puts it straight across the keeper. That's textbook in off the back post. So good start for the batteries. You mentioned Poppy. You know, battery happy to give possession away, but when they do go forward, they do it effectively.
Patrick Okonkwo opens the scoring here at MUSC Health Stadium. All goals presented to you by Baker Roofing. And the home side lead the Rowdies 1-0. Well, we mentioned him in the pre-game, Paul. 3 goals in the last 2 games and now 4 in the last 3. Really coming on to fantastic form.
Yeah, when you look over a season as a striker, you know, goals come in bunches. You know, you don't score 1 every game, obviously, but you will go on runs 3, 4, 5 over a 3 or 4 game period, and then you'll have barren spells, and that's one of the challenges of being a front player. He's a young lad, and that will only do his confidence a world of good.
The Atlanta United loanee finds the score sheet again for Mike Anhauser. Here comes the Rowdies on the attack, though. Bolt forced back to Thomas. And Thomas looking to just get the clearance away. This time it will be Bolt, picked up by Cole in the middle of the park. Aduro goes back to Takite. Takes some steps forward, the battery now bringing their line of confrontation right back into their own half. Could this be a chance for a Rowdies attack? Morad looking for Poku. Taku one-on-one. It's Cole. Invites Gorski into the attack. Is a good delivery to the back post. Still danger. Kuzminski picks it out the air. Joe Cole, just one of those players, every time he touches the ball, you're just anxious to see what he's going to do with it.
Yeah, his experience will be even more important now after going 1-0 down, because the Battery are already sitting in, so they're obviously going to continue to do that. And it'll be a test of patience from Tampa. There's a lot of time left in this game. They don't need to throw bodies forward needlessly and allow the Battery to counter on them.
Well kept in by Higashi. Numbers aren't in his favor. The referee, again, waves Higashi up, and it's Cole out the back. Long ball forward for Flemings. Thomas one-on-one with Flemings. Goes for the challenge, forcing him back to the corner. I think you can see there, Flemings just looking for the corner. He didn't have anyone up with him.
Yeah, he did well there. You know, many managers, you know, they're yelling down the touchline, get something out of it. And he did exactly that, won his team a corner and allows the big fellas to come up from the back.
Well, here we go again, another set piece opportunity. Fernandez is going to take it. Can expect another one whipped in at the back post. I mentioned 3 assists on the season. He goes short with this time. He's got Joe Cole up with him. Again, they'll win the throw.
Yeah, for the life of me, I don't know why teams do that, to be honest. They bring the big boys forward. You got an opportunity to put it inside the 6-yard box, and you go short. I think Barcelona made that a fad, but when you have Messi, it's usually a different outcome.
Tampa putting numbers in the box. Poku is there this time. Is it going to be an in-swinger or an out-swinger? The Battery, again, not taking any chances. Every player is back inside the box. The Ghanaian Poku this time, again, short to the top of the box. The strike is there. Couldn't quite get over it.
Yeah, that one will go back to the training ground, I think. You know, again, another opportunity to put the ball in the box. You're 1-0 down. You've got some big lads on the side. And really, you know, to score from that distance with that many bodies in front of you is a little bit unrealistic, to be honest.
And again, when you're throwing your defenders into the box, I think they're expecting the long ball in. Kuzminski out of the back to get us back underway here at MUSC Health Stadium. It's Poppy Miller alongside Paul Conway. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Kotaro Higashi just very unfortunate there.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Higashi. He's very lively, you know, gets at people, and him and Jay Bolt on that side of the pitch are a handful, the two of them.
Kotaro Higashi just 5'6", but really uses that to his advantage. So agile in the attack. Won Newcomer of the Year last season after coming through the open trials and paying his way from Japan. Impressed Mike Anhauser last season in Carolina Challenge Cup after bagging a goal against Seattle Sounders, and really has just been a mainstay on the side ever since.
Yeah, he's, you know, he impressed me when I saw him earlier in the season. You could tell it's, you know, a lot of experience. He's not a young fella. You know, I'm not too familiar with his career back in Japan, but I think he has played a few places around the world, and you know, he does bring experience to the side, and you know, the same energy level every night. And as a coach, you love that.
Cole across the back line to Kite. Duro in the middle of the park, just likes to sit in front of the 3-man back line. He really sprays the ball around the field. Working very well with Cole. Again, Cole looking for the direct ball up top. This time it's Archer to stop him in his tracks.
That's one thing the Battery need to be careful of, Poppy, is allowing Joe Cole sit in the middle and just pinging balls, because if one of them is going to pay off, you know, his quality. And again, here he's picking the ball up in midfield, just spraying it around.
You're absolutely right. We've seen him go direct into the attack at every opportunity he's got so far this match. And especially with Guenzati and Fleming's speed up top, the Battery back line are going to have their work cut out for them. Here he is on the ball again, very composed. Easy ball, gets the return. 1-2 in the middle of the park from Poku and Cole. Looking to turn on the chance. Kuzminski out of the back, looking for Svanteson.
You know, young viewers watching this game tonight, keep an eye on Joe Cole, because every time he gets the ball, it just looks like he knows where it's going before it gets to him. You know, sometimes it's short, and sometimes he takes a touch to hit a longer ball, but you can just see his quality over the 90 minutes. You know, he can't get around the pitch the same way he did, but you know, the pace of the game, where it's at right now, he's very comfortable, you know, here again, pinging another one out wide.
He's a perfect example of what they say, work smarter, not harder. And if you keep your eye on him, just to your point, Paul, his head is always on a swivel, directing the strikers, talking to the back line. And even when he hasn't got the ball, he's completely aware of who's around him. Here he is on the ball. Combinations in the middle of the park. Morad on the far side. Svanson looking for the challenge. Tampa Bay patient in the build-up. Runs into traffic, falls out to Flemings. Could this be a chance for Guenzati? Mueller taken, but no worries done by the visitors.
Yeah, good patient, experienced defending there by Mueller. You know, Taylor's been there, I think, 7 years. So I was just thinking if he had a good parole officer, he should get a release soon. I was here 7 years. I'm just kidding. This is a great place to play. And I know he enjoys Charleston. You know, this is, I was very fortunate to play here. I know he is too.
He's 4th all-time in appearances. That one looked like a bit over the top. The referee again waving play on. Back to Mueller. He makes his 27th start tonight this season. Like we said last year, played every single minute of every single match. And he's one of those reliants that you can always count on. So important for your centre-back and captain as well. Yeah,
you know, he's been a good servant to the club, as they say. And it makes it easier to play 3 at back with someone like him in the middle with that experience. You know, he's probably not the quickest, but if, you know, as you alluded to earlier, Poppy, if you can read the game, you'd rather have a quicker brain than quick feet, to be honest, to play this game well.
Poku. The Rowdies again building in the midfield, looking for the space. The trio up top, stepping as a unit. Dakite for Cole. Flemings now. Can Flemings find Guenzati? He's forced out wide to Taku. Taku with the delivery. Away by Mueller. Taku, another newbie to the side, signed June 20th in his first season, makes his 6th start tonight for Neil Collins.
Yeah, Neil had a distinguished career too. I was looking at his resume, played a lot of games, a lot of different clubs around England. Really had a good stay at Sheffield United, which, you know, as you probably know, Pop, that's a big-sized club in England.
Absolutely, and again, another one with just so much experience. And an interesting transition midway through the season from a player to coach.
Yeah, it's hard going from, you know, what they say, the dressing room into the coaching room, because the relationships change. Now you're making decisions and affecting people's careers rather than just being part of the team. So, but I think the record indicates that he has had an effect on the team for the positive.
Rittmeyer on the chase, Fernandez on his heels. And Rittmeyer does just enough. Well, we mentioned the Battery wearing the special edition jerseys. Remember, you have the chance to bid on the game-worn jerseys. All the proceeds raised through the jersey auction will benefit the North Charleston Cop Athletic Program, and we'll get that link up on the screen for you to be able to bid on those jerseys. There's already several bids on each one, and you can also get Dusty Hudock, Mike Anhauser, and Bobby Weisenberger. Their jerseys that they're wearing tonight are also up for auction, and there's the link that you need to go to. We'll talk a little bit more about it at half-time, but the bidding does close at 8 p.m, so head on there. Fantastic jerseys for a great cause. It looks like the referee is going to give that collision in the favour of the visitors. Interesting to get a replay of this one.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit soft, but I think it's a free kick there, just coming across. You know, Flemings has done well. He's, you know, been on both wings. He's come back and gotten the ball. He looks like a handful tonight. The Battery will need to keep an eye on him.
Mentioned his chemistry with Guenzati. Let's keep our eye on them two tonight. Gorski across the back to Kite. Into the middle. Here comes Cole. Again, direct into the attack. Flemings dancing on the ball, trying to get out of traffic. Wins a set-piece opportunity for his side. You can see Okonkwo, just a little frustration there. And here comes Cole over the dead ball. This could be a real chance, Paul.
Yeah, you know, Battery's probably getting a little bit impatient defensively there. And, you know, we talked about the line they were keeping before the goal. Now it seems to be dropping and dropping. And the referee's probably losing his patience a little bit, too, with the Battery's defensive measures.
Well, the referee just organizing the yards, dropping the Battery backline well into the box. And let's see who's going to have a crack at this one.
Yeah, I think from this distance, a direct shot will need to be something special. This could be clipped in.
Gone short again. Here comes Fernandez into the box. It's an open goal, and it falls wide of the post. Well, taken quickly.
Yeah,
and I think that caught everyone off guard.
Yeah, you know, typically the person on the end of the wall should be watching that run. It's a great ball put across the box there, and Joe's come out and just missed that one, and I'd be disappointed with that miss there. It's Guenzati would like to have that one back. Probably a person in his form probably should have put that one away.
Well, it was a good set-piece opportunity taken quickly, and like you said, Paul, Guenzati just wide of the post. It was wide open for him. Kuzminski well off his line.
Yeah, it looked like it just hit his heel. It came to him awful quick after the goalkeeper missed it.
And here comes another opportunity for the Rowdies. This time it looks like it will be Cole over the dead ball. Poku is there as well. See Cole just saying, I've got this one. Again, goes short. Dakite. Across the back. Morad. Another new signee for Neil Collins, signed August 8. His first season, actually made his debut against Charleston at Al Lang Stadium earlier on this season. Previously with Louisville City FC, 2017 champions. 88 appearances for them over the years, still the record holder. We keep our eye on him joining into the attack tonight. Cole into the middle. Cole on the run, but the Battery just struggling at the minute to get out their own half.
Yeah, you know, Mike Anheuser and Dusty Hudock will probably have a word at halftime, and they need to get further up the pitch and play this game more like it's 0-0, because holding on for a 1-0 lead for over an hour is not easy, and definitely a goal for Tampa would change the momentum of the game.
Like they say, 1-0 often the most dangerous lead to have in football. Let's see if anything changes before halftime. Just under 10 minutes of regular time left to play here at MUSC Health Stadium. It's Poppy Miller alongside ex-Battery Pro and leading goal scorer of all time for the Charleston Battery, Paul Conway. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Skylar Thomas in his second season with the Battery. Like we said, normally we see him on the right. Tonight we see him on the left, but I'd like to see him get into the attack. Watching him earlier this week at practice, putting some good crosses in on this left-hand side on his dominant foot. Yeah,
I mean, that's another asset. Bolt and him have a good partnership on that side of the pitch. Early on, Bolt did a good job getting forward, as we mentioned, coming inside, going outside. Thomas hasn't been able to join him yet. But again, with three at the back, it's that would be a big luxury, allowing your left-sided centered half going forward as well.
Absolutely right, and Bolt very defensively minded as well. So maybe we'll see, like we normally see, those two change over. Great communication between them both. Right now, though, it's Tampa Bay with all the possession. Patience in the build-up from the back. Poku in the middle. Takite looking for the 1-2. Patrick Okonkwo just forcing them back.
Yeah, that's better from the Battery. Probably now through halftime, they need to start pushing on a little bit and regain some momentum going before the break.
Guenzati looking to invite Taku forward. See him just raise his hand there. Right idea. But very classic from the Battery. Just that example from Okonkwo. They sit back and absorb the pressure, and within a second it's turned and they're on the counter-attack.
Yeah, sometimes you can lull teams into a false sense of security, and then they'll get sloppy and you'll be able to capitalize on that. Okonkwo almost got away with that. Just didn't fall right for him.
Poku, here he comes again. Flemings is begging for it. He goes to Cole, invites Fernandez forward. Rittmeyer is there, just trying to shield it out of bounds. Fernandez wins it though, and here comes Flemings in the box. He's looking to get the strike away. What a challenge from Anunga. And here come the Battery on the counter-attack. And Okonkwo is stopped in his tracks. What a challenge that was from Anunga.
Yeah, I think he got the ball, but I think certainly Flemings felt that. Just kind of, it was a good challenge, to be honest. The referee did well playing on there.
Vasquez had a great view of that. Brian Anunga, another one that likes to just sit in front of the back line. Every so often we'll see him transition into the attack and join the trio up top. Bolt for Higashi. Higashi looking to get it out of his feet. The referee is going to give that one in his favor. Can the Battery create something of this chance? Anunga looking for his duo in the middle, Kelly, but he's going to go direct. The run from Svanteson was there, but well read by Gorski. Poku, one-on-one with Thomas. Thomas, cool and composed, gets an applause from the crowd for that one.
Yeah, it was good defending, good composure.
Flemings, could they find the numbers up advantage? Looking to track into the box again, taken off his feet by Archer. Ground ball out of the back. Kelly and Anunga combine in the middle, sprayed out to Bolt. Bolt with space, he's looking for Okonkwo. He's going to make Takite play it. And just a bit too physical.
Yeah.
The referee is going to have a word with them both there. A bit of pushing and shoving. I think we could possibly see our first card of the game, Paul.
Yeah, there wasn't much there. I mean, other than the fact there's been a few challenges, there haven't been much for the referees to do today, and I'd probably let that one go.
The referee, you're absolutely right, he's let it go. We're back underway. He's just having a quick word with Patrick Okonkwo below us. No damage done for either side, and just under 4 minutes of regulation left to play in the first half, and it's Patrick Okonkwo that's been the difference for the home side. Flemings, good step from the Trinidad and Tobago archer. The ball looking to be threaded through for Svanteson. Cole picks it up in the middle of the park. Quick ball for Poku. The game really opening up in the midfield. Maduro combines with Cole. Maduro, another youngster on the side, just 23 years old, makes his 13th start tonight. Here comes Fernandez. The challenge is there from Okonkwo, won cleanly. Ground ball into the attack, it's Svanteson. Can he beat him one-on-one? He holds the ball up. Back for Rittmeyer. The referee just stopping the match. Let's hope that he's up and okay. With just a couple of minutes left to go before half-time, Paul, what's been your thoughts on the first half?
Well, you know, obviously the Battery got the goal, and that changed the game a little bit. They did drop deeper and deeper. Just looking at the challenge here, Flemings coming back, and you know, you'd like to see that. You know, both from midfielders and the defenders like when the forwards track back like there, win the ball back. But you know, going back to your question, Poppy, I'd like to see the two in the middle of the park actually get the ball a little bit more for the Battery. I think you know the tempo of the game tonight is relatively slow. There's a lot of space in the middle of the park. I know the Battery are missing some of their regulars, but I think they can take the game out of the, or take the pace out of the game a little bit more when they have it, so they're not defending as much.
Yeah, absolutely right. It'll be interesting to hear what Mike Anhauser's going to say to his side at halftime. Like we said, 1-0 lead, very dangerous to have, especially heading into halftime with 45 left to play and some change.
Yeah, you can just see Coach Anheuser and Hudak there having a chat. They clearly see some things that need to be said at halftime. Also, you know, the other thing, as we alluded to, you know, I think you need to get a little bit closer to Joe Cole, especially if you're going to sit that deep. You know, giving a player of his quality time on the ball, 30, 40 yards from your goal is going to be a problem.
Just 1 assist on the season so far, but all match we've seen him looking for the direct ball at every chance that he can get into the attack. It really is the catalyst in the middle for the transition. We're back underway, and it looks like Flemings is up and okay to continue. Bolt for Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly's got to keep looking for it in the middle of the park there. There's gaps in there to get it. He just needs to go get it. And it's difficult, you know, especially in playing regularly.
Angelo Kelly, the Honduran, makes his 12th start tonight. Really has been a mainstay with Anunga in the middle of the park. Been playing very well together. Of course, Mike Anhauser's alternative holding midfielder out on suspension tonight. Could this be a chance for Svanteson? He's making Gorski play it out the back and settles with the throw on the far side.
Yeah, good work by the big man up there. Again, as we mentioned earlier, it's always good to get something out of it.
Ian Svanteson, 6'6", former Tulsa Roughneck leading goal scorer. Good ball into the box. Can Bolt find the second ball? Gwenzati, the pressure on from Thomas. Anunga stepping in. Taku keeps the possession for his side. Flemings leaving one off. Again, right idea. Just a misjudge of the pace. Kelly in the middle of the park. Just a loose ball. Does well to recover. And if there ever has been an example of Joe Cole's downfall, just maybe that one touch and trying to get back into the transition.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned earlier, at his age, the legs do start to go. But as you mentioned, Poppy, the brain only keeps developing the game. You know, you do have that magic period in your career where you have both things. And he's just on the backside of a career. But again, he's a tremendous asset to the league and obviously, you know, to the club in Tampa.
Managed to catch up with Joe Cole last time he was here in Charleston after the last match, and he's been doing a bit of commentating with Sky Sports. He was saying he thinks that it's really helped his game just having to talk about the vision of the game, and added to it, here comes Okonkwo. Can Okonkwo get in behind Takite, who brings it out calm? Takite out the back, Gorski. Gorski taking his space, ground ball up, good step from Thomas. Gwenzati on the run. The Battery appealing for offside, but the referee waving play on. It's Cole. Maduro. Good distribution of the ball. Here comes Taku into the attack. Picks it up at the top of the box, gets the 1-2. And again across into the midfield. The Battery defending in numbers. And that's going to be all we see from the first half here at MUSC Health Stadium. Again, just one goal separates these two sides in the first 45 minutes. And it was Patrick Okonkwo in the 22nd minute. Poppy Miller alongside Paul Conway, thank you for joining us for the first half. We'll be back with you at halftime to talk a bit more about the bidder and the special edition jerseys that the Battery players have on. We'll see you in a few.
as maybe another potential chance for the Rangers. Long range shot, incredible save. Ball knocked over the top. What a touch! Guzman! Put a delivery. Header, tipped over the bar. What a save.
It's Kuzane. Oh! Sensational!
Handball. Jay Bolt saved by Ranjitsingh. Lance Lang!
And it's saved by Crépeau.
Are you kidding me? Antoine Opino! Tina kick save by Spencer Richards. Tina, a left-footed shot. Oh, wonder goal from Jesse Daly.
Headed towards Vega. Did he hold it out? Somehow, Daniel Vega holds it out.
Dennis can hit from this range. Aaron Dennis. Cross header towards the goal. It's Dejas punches it over the top to save the lead.
Fernando Adi over to his left foot. Fernando Adi, his first goal in Cincinnati.
Chambers, he's gonna hit it. Then Pizer tips it over the bar.
The outswinger and volleyed in for a goal.
The defense, Lasser 1v1 versus Kuati, who makes a beautiful save.
Enriquez on his right. Skundrich, what a save from Pizer.
Well, the playoffs are in sight for the Charleston Battery with just over a month left to play of the regular season. They return back to MUSC Health Stadium this Saturday to take on the Tampa Bay Rowdies for the third and final time this year. For the Charleston Battery, I'm Poppy Miller. Let's take a look around the league presented by Home Telecom. 24 USL players have been selected for international duty over the next 2 weeks and will jet off and represent their countries. For the Charleston Battery, its leading goal scorer Atula Guerra and defender Neviel Hackshaw, who have been selected for the Trinidad and Tobago national team, along with Charlotte Independence's Kevon George and India 11's Nathan Lewis. They play against the United Arab Emirates in Girona on Thursday. Tampa Bay Rowdies striker Sebastian Guenzati has been selected as USL Player of the Week after scoring a hat-trick against North Carolina FC. He scored his first goal for the Rowdies in the 23rd minute off an assist from Junior Flemings. Flemings also assisted his second and got his 5th assist on the season. Tampa sit 13th in the East and remain 8 points out of playoff contentions. FC Cincinnati are the first USL team to clinch a playoff position after their 2-1 win against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Despite Romeo Parks opening the scoring at Nippert Stadium, it was Deco Canon who pulled one back for the home side, and Adi got his first Cincinnati goal and the game winner. Well, there's the 3 main headlines from the USL in week 25 for the Charleston Battery. I'm Poppy Miller. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here, the Charleston Battery taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And well, we've mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast, but you might be wondering exactly what the special edition jerseys are. And they are to honour local first responders for our Hometown Heroes Night tonight. And that's why you're seeing them in the special edition jerseys. And if you want one for yourself, you can get one as they are being auctioned off right now, and all the proceeds go to the North Charleston Cop Athletic Program, but the bidding closes very shortly, so head to the link and it will close at 8 p.m. So hop online now if you want to get your hands on one of these jerseys. And you can also get Mike Anhauser's Dusty Hudock and Bobby Weisenberger as well. So check it out. Fantastic jerseys, all for a great cause. Well, let's take a look at the Battery's schedule up to come, because they are home next week to take on the Charlotte Independence right here at MUSC Health Stadium. Kickoff, of course, at 7 o'clock. It'll be craft beer night, so keep your eyes on all social media channels to find out what specials we will be offering, but always a great game against a state rival, Paul.
Yeah, I've had many battles myself against Charlotte. Anytime the two Carolinas clash in any sport, it's always a fierce rivalry. Charlotte fighting for a playoff spot. Battery looks like they're going to make the playoffs, but what spot they end up in will be important to them.
Absolutely, and we know how quickly the tables can turn. All so tight at the top of the Eastern Conference. Charlotte sitting in 12th place at the minute, but as we know, that could all change after tonight. The Battery will then hit the road to take on Nashville SC, the expansion side, at First Tennessee Park. The Holy City meeting the Music City. That will be a good one.
It will. I was up in Nashville earlier this year, and that city, like Charleston, is on fire. I'd like to be in the crane business, actually, in Nashville. There's a lot of buildings going up. They're excited to get to MLS, but, they're just finding their way in professional soccer right now, and that'll be an interesting match.
They are, and it's been an exciting year for them. They're sitting just outside of playoff contentions as well at the minute. Again, like we said, I'm sure the tables will have completely turned by the time the Charleston Battery head there to take them on. But as you can see, the kickoff will be at 8:30 p.m. and watch party to be announced. So again, head to charlestonbattery.com for any more information and keep your eye on the Twitter feed. We will be announcing that shortly. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have second half action from MUSC Health Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Second half up next. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here. Just having a break in the play from the Charleston Battery and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. As you can see on your screen below us, some halftime action. We are honoring all local heroes, first responders here at MUSC Health Stadium tonight as they just gather in for a team picture. Poppy Miller alongside ex-Battery Pro Paul Conway. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Well, the players making their way back out onto the field from halftime. But while we have a second, let's take a look at some first half highlights.
Yeah, I think this is the goal here. It's a good strike, stays himself, and as I mentioned during the match, across the goalkeeper, in off the back post, just where you want to put it. He got his due reward.
Patrick Okonkwo always bringing in the celebrations. 4 goals in 3 games now. You can see him celebrating with his teammates. We did mention earlier in the match that leading goal scorer for the Battery, Atula Guerra, out on suspension tonight. But for the Rowdies, Bonomo also unavailable for selection, so they're missing their leading goal scorer. However, Georgie Ristoff on the bench for Neil Collins tonight. Let's see if he makes an appearance. 6 goals on the season so far But of course, Tampa Bay Rowdies' all-time leading goal scorer sits below us. Well, the Battery just having a team huddle, getting ready for second half action. But Paul, if you're the visitors, what's got to change?
Well, I'm not too disappointed, to be honest, if I'm Tampa, the way the first half, the Battery went. The Battery sat back and gave Tampa plenty of opportunities, both through the middle and out wide. If I'm Mike Anheuser, to counter that, I think they did a better job of pressing the last 10, 15 minutes of that first half. But as we were talking during the break, Poppy, I'd like to see the two lads in the center of the park for the Battery getting the ball a little bit more. I think that would allow them to, the vogue term today, defend with the ball, and take the steam out of it.
You're absolutely right. And it's going to be Guenzati to get us underway. But throughout the first half, we've been mentioning Joe Cole in the middle of the park for the Rowdies. And just the distribution of the ball, very direct. And we'll keep our eye on that in this second half. Both teams coming back out in the second half with the three-man back line. Of course, we can expect the game to be just as open.
Yeah, the three at the back does leave a lot of opportunities to get around the outside, and I think both teams at different points in the game took advantage of that.
Well, it was Rittmeyer in a foot race with Fernandez. Does just enough on the near side as he gets us back underway. Back to Archer. Archer clears from the back up to the target man up top, Ian Svanterson. Can Patrick Okonkwo break through the traffic? Out of the back, Aduro. And the Rowdies will get the set piece. Taken quickly, Aduro again. Just done a nice job of sitting in front of the Rowdies back line in the first half. Had a couple of chances for both sides, but you've got to say the Rowdies have most of the possession.
They have, yep. Possession will only get you so far at the end of the day. The Battery have been very resilient. They're well organized, and it's a credit to Coach Anheuser. I do think they're going to have to continue to press a little bit higher if they're going to keep the score 1-0.
Jay Bolt on the far side, his first season with the Charleston Battery, makes his 15th start tonight. 2 assists on the season so far. Just managed to catch up with him earlier this week. He said he's really looking to focus on his attacking play. He likes to sit back and help defend, but been critical on the flanks so far this season for Mike Anheuser's side. It's Cole. Ground ball up to Flemings. Flemings looking to lay one out to Fernandez. And it'll be Rittmeyer who leaves it for the Trinidad and Tobago Youth International Leland Archer. College of Charleston product, has spent the majority of the season training with the Battery, but only signed a contract about halfway through after finishing college. Another College of Charleston product, and Savannah native Nico Rittmeyer playing on the same side as him. Got great chemistry down this near flank. Tampa with all the possession to get us underway in the second half. Cole out wide to Murad. Flemings can't quite keep it in bounds, so bring up a chance for the Battery to regain the possession. Here comes Archer, 6'4", great height at the back, makes his 9th start tonight. 1 assist on the season so far, and it was for Nico Rittmeyer. And you've got to say, Nico Rittmeyer's done a nice job of just keeping Fernandez intact in the first half.
Yeah, if I recall, he's been around Charleston for a while. I think he played in the academy here at one point. I had the opportunity to coach his brother a couple years ago. A talented soccer family, and he's done a yeoman's work today, getting up and down the pitch. I think, truth be told, he'd rather get forward than he has this match. But he's put a shift in for the team.
Okonkwo with the solid challenge on Murad. Vasquez gets us back underway. Taku out of the back, Aduro lays it wide, looking for Taku on the run. Bolt to bring us back in. Just leaving it for Skylar Thomas, the Canadian Youth International. Second season with the Battery. Like we mentioned in the first half, the Battery very strong at home, having only lost 1 game at home all season. Tampa have got their work cut out for them. Looking at some stats at half-time, they haven't won a game where they've conceded first. So let's see if they can find the back of the net and get themselves back on the score sheet. Flemings finds it at the top of the box again. This time Thomas takes it off his feet. Long ball forward and a chance for the Battery to breathe.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the Battery's record is commendable at home, and it's unusual for, you know, teams at home to sit back as much as the Battery does. It probably makes it difficult for, you know, teams coming into Charleston, because most times you go away from home, you're expecting, you know, an onslaught. Well, the Battery typically doesn't give that to you. So, you know, even with the help of game tape and preparing for games, it's a little bit unusual when you got to force the issue going away from home.
The Battery have just returned from Slugger Field, where they took on the defending USL champions Louisville City FC, ended in a 2-2 draw. The Rowdies, of course, coming off a great result against North Carolina FC. We mentioned in the pre-game, Guenzati with the hat-trick, assisted twice by Flemings. See if they can work their magic up top for the visitors. Anunga off the feet of Cole, looking for Kelly. Just outbodied in the middle by Poku. Flemings on the far side, runs out of space, forced out wide by Thomas.
He's done well tonight, Thomas, so far. So he's one-on-one defending from very good. He's got a big body and uses that well.
Archer takes his time, gets his head up. You can see him looking for the switch. Not many options available for him at the minute. Regained in the middle of the park by Nunga. Kelly links in the middle for Thomas. Fans, you can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with all the news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer. You can see Rittmeyer on your screen there, just wanting that one back. It was a great run for him. And I think Svanteson looking for the negative ball back, just a bit too flat with the delivery.
Yeah, Rittmeyer doing well there. And that came from the, you know, the two players in the middle of the park for Battery, Kelly and Unger, getting a hold of it, and then it you know, it forces Tampa to defend a little bit more centrally and create space out wide, which Rittmeyer used well.
Here comes the Japanese veteran Kotaro Higashi. It's going to be an outswinger from this near side. Vasquez keeping his eye on the box, headed away at the near post. Recycled by Rittmeyer. Svanteson's in the box, and it's Cole to get it away. The Battery taking their time. Tampa not taking any chances on that one, pulling everybody back. Thomas on the far side. Just really slowing the pace of the game down, the Battery.
Yeah, and that's fine if you're going to play at the opposition's half. You know, if I'm Mike Anheuser, I'm telling them, let's go, you know, go play, wear out the other half for 45 minutes. You know, Battery were definitely defending too deep in the middle of that first half, and as we mentioned, Poppy, and if you do that for too long, you're going to concede.
Well, the Battery have picked up points from both earlier meetings between themselves and the Rowdies. This is the third time they've met this season. It was a 0-0 draw at Al Lang Stadium midweek and a 1-0 win at Tullaguerra earlier on this season. Here comes Guenzati into the attack. The Rowdies are on the front foot. Poku leaves it out wide to Taku. Good trickery on the far side, a good delivery into the box. Flemings is at the back post, but this one away by Rittmeyer. Svanteson, the lone striker, looking to turn to Kite. Good composed play from the centre back.
Yeah, it's critical that Swanson holds the ball up there, you know, for the Battery. Took an awkward bounce on that one for him, but you know, you can just tell some of the runs getting back, that last transition that Tampa had, you know, some heavy legs out there for the Battery.
Fernandez combines with Murad. Invites Flemings into the possession. Ball in the middle. Rittmeyer takes a loose touch. It's Flemings on the ball. Recovered well by Anunga. And that's where Anunga's so critical in front of the back line. Kelly turns and go. And this time, it's J-Bolt on the run. The referee has seen too much on that one. You can see Joe Cole furious.
Could be in trouble here.
Trying to have a word with Bolt. Let's see if we can get a replay at that. Joe Cole's reaction really was something. That is going to be the first yellow card of the match. It's going to go to J-Bolt for that challenge. And you can see Cole still unhappy.
At first glance, it may have looked like he led with his elbow, and that's what may have caused the reaction from Joe Cole. You know, usually when an experienced player reacts like that, they've seen something nasty. Watch this here.
We'll get a better look at it.
No, I think, to be honest, that was the yellow is a fair result. I think if Joe Cole saw that again, he'd probably agree.
Well, just keeping an eye out below us. It looks like the Rowdies are going to make their first substitution. Off comes Junior Flemings, and on comes all-time leading goal scorer for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Georgie Ristoff. And you've got to say, before we talk about Ristoff, Flemings has put in a solid shift tonight.
Yeah, that was an unusual substitution for me. You know, obviously the manager knows a lot more about his side than I do, but I thought, you know, Flemings had done well tonight, caused a few problems for the battery, and, you know, 1-0 down, you probably would like to keep someone like him on the pitch.
Poku on the attack. It's the Rowdies on the front foot into the box. Could this be a chance? It almost fell for Guenzati and just took an awkward deflection. And now here comes Okonkwo. Kelly picks up the second ball. Svanteson desperate to keep it in bounds. The referee has blown his whistle. And he's going to want this one brought back. Well, Georgie Ristoff in his sixth season with the Rowdies. 162 games played, 58 career goals. And that is quite an achievement, something that you know a lot about, Paul, being the leading goal scorer for the Battery.
Well, they used to count goals in training when I played, so I think they changed that rule.
Too humble. Let's see if he gets his first touches on the ball. Runs long, but it'll go out for a throw-in. Offside is given. You can see Neil Collins there just dishing out some instruction to his side, having a word with the referee about that offside. But Neil Collins been very vocal throughout the game, just giving his players direction below us.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, you know, he's already played in this team during this season. It's difficult, you know, he probably half the time would like to be out there. You know, you don't see that very often. I think Kenny Dalglish was probably one of the last managers to both play and manage at the same time at a decent level in the game.
It's been very interesting this season, especially with Louisville City FC, with James O'Connor's departure. Luke Spencer was taking over for a while on injury, so he was available on the sideline, but very interesting dynamic being a player coach.
Yeah, you know, I optimistically probably thought I could play longer than I really could, but definitely know now I can't play. But it's a tough transition, you know, going from playing to standing on the sideline or watching games.
Mike Anhauser below us, just very comfortable on the bench. We haven't seen him up too many times tonight. Murad to get us back underway on this near side, the former Louisville City player, won the championship with them in 2017. No substitutes as of yet for the home side, but there is some movement on the bench below us. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with anything we see with our eyes from the booth. Below us, Kuzminski. Fans, you can stay up to date with all the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL social media channels. Vega out the back, another name that we haven't said a lot in this half, Paul.
No, it's basically started the same way the first half ended. A lot of possession by Tampa, not really threatening the Battery though, and that's probably the reason Mike Anheuser hasn't felt the need to get off his bench. He's quite comfortable and seen a lot of this from his team this year, and they've been quite successful at it.
Murad looking for his options, just running out of space, lays it off to Fernandez. Fernandez cuts inside, the pressure is there from Ripmeyer. loses the possession. Safety in numbers from the home side. That one took a deflection from the referee. Here comes Poku. And Thomas out of the back, forcing Higashi on the run, just pushing Tampa back a bit.
Yeah, that's where the Battery could do themselves a few favors. The quality of the ball into the front players when they do win possession. It allows the back four to get out. You know, right now they're just camped 10 yards outside their own box.
Well, we've been talking about the bidder throughout the game, and what a great cause that is. The highest bidding jersey at the minute is Additional Cooper, who's on the bench tonight for Mike Anhauser. $500 has been bidded on his jersey already, so keep those bids coming. J-Bolt lets that one run out. Kuzminski just taking his chance. Well, it looks like Fernandez is just down below us. Let's see if this will bring up an opportunity for everybody to take some fluid on board. Something that we don't often talk about, just the heat and humidity, although it's not scorching temperatures, still takes a lot out of you.
It's a long season playing in Charleston, South Carolina. It's not just the games, it's training during the week. My Irish fair skin would truly appreciate it, but it's tough. It takes some getting used to, and it's unusually humid right now for somewhat mid-September. We've got a big storm brewing off the coast. We're hoping that thing moves out to the ocean. But with this time of year, we're susceptible to storms, and these players have been playing, 8 months now, probably since February. 7, 8 months, and it's a long season, especially for the younger players. That's the one thing that I did notice. The college season is so short in this country. They're used to a 3-4 month season, and then to become a professional, it takes several years to get used to the long season, and you start seeing the effects of the season now in the players' legs.
You're absolutely right. There's just over a month to go of regular season play for most of these USL teams. And this has given Bobby Weisenberger a chance to come on. Just have a look at Ian Svanterson. It looks like Mike Anhauser is going to make his first substitution. It's going to be the Atlanta United loanee Gordon Wild to make his way on. And Gordon Wild, as we know, 6 goals on the season so far and 3 assists. And he can really play a role in the attack.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to see Gordon play yet, so I'm anxious to see. If I'm Mike Anhauser sending them on, is tell them get a hold of the ball and bring people into the game so the Battery can get up the pitch.
So the 2 Atlanta United loanees up top together, Patrick Okonkwo and Gordon Wild. Ian Svanterson made his way off during that quick break that we just saw. And if you saw Bobby Weisenberger's jersey, that is the one for the coaching staff that you'll be bidding on. Bidding ends in just a couple of minutes at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So any last minute, and that's often what you see with bids, it all happens in the last couple of minutes. So head online now if you want to get your hands on one of those jerseys. Takite, you can see the bidding link on your screen below us. Atula Guerra, Joe Kuzminski and Captain Taylor Mueller being the models for tonight. This could be a chance. Ristov getting his first touches on the ball, just offside, said the referee. Kuzminski tracks across to get us back underway here in the 63rd minute.
Yeah, other than the goal, both goalkeepers haven't had a whole lot to do in this match. Kuzminski was a little bit busier in the first half, but Vega and Kuzminski haven't done much at all other than use their feet here in the second half.
We mentioned earlier in the game, Joe Kuzminski looking for his 11th clean sheet in 20 games tonight. And a stellar season for Mike Anhauser, who's had a tough decision to make with Odisnal Cooper also being on great form this season. Here comes Guanzati, looking for the return. Again, Rittmeyer and Fernandez going at it on this near side. Rittmeyer really opening up now, taking his space. Wild into the box. Can Rittmeyer get the cross in? Goes back to Anunga across in the middle of the park. Kelly for Bolt. Bolt looks for the cross. Just a bit too much pace on that one.
Yeah, not a bad idea, but again, I'd like to see the Battery keep possession there. The game stretched a little bit. Tampa weren't well organized, and you know Kelly's giving the ball outside the bowl. Like them to go get it again and keep the ball moving.
Tampa to get us back underway quickly. A lot of experience on the back line and especially in goal. Daniel Vega, 34 years old, makes his 4th start tonight for the Rowdies in his first season with them. Anunga opens up for Wild. Wild for Higashi. Just runs out of space, well read by Dakite. Wenzati dropping deep into the midfield. Now Ristov is on. Could this be a chance? Good delivery, Ristov there. Good composed play from Kuzminski.
Yeah, not a bad ball in. Again, just looking for a near post run. Say 60 to 70% of crosses get dealt with at the near post, and you see the ball going wide. Bolt's done fairly well 1v1, but he's a little bit isolated out there. And unfortunately, it ended up in Kaminsky's arms for the battery.
Gorski at the back, up to Taku. Gorski been a mainstay on the back line, his 25th start tonight. Quickly update you with some scores from around the league. Charlotte Independence leading Richmond Kickers 2-1. Here comes Murad. We'll keep you up to date with those scores as we progress on tonight. With things so tight at the top of the Eastern Conference, it's interesting to see how these tables will turn tonight. Higashi. Too much pressure from Orduro at the back. Thomas. Safety first, goes home to Kuzminski. The pressure is on from Ristov, the veteran. What a mainstay he has been for the Rowdies over the years. Pressure coming from Cole. It's going to be Archer out the back. Good combination play from Wild, keeping that one in. Finds its way to Dakite. Just looking below us, it looks like we're going to have another Tampa Bay Rowdies change coming up. We'll keep you up to date with that when we get confirmation of who the change will be for. But the Rowdies with a lot of veterans on their side, so it's about this time where we start to see tired legs creeping, especially when you're on the road and these substitutions to happen.
Yeah, I think Tampa certainly need an injection of fresh blood out there. And, you know, the battery are probably going to use their last 2 subs, I'm sure, before this is done tonight. Both players, you know, again, as you mentioned, Poppy, it's very humid tonight. And it just starts zapping the energy after an hour or so.
Wild looking to invite Okonkwo into the attack. What a challenge from Dakite. Well, this is going to bring up the opportunity for the change, and we could almost expect that one. It's going to be Joe Cole to make his way off. He's just given the captain's armband to Georgi Ristov, and in comes Alex Morel. And Cole, like, we've sung his praises all game, but had a great game tonight in the middle of the park.
He did very well. I think, you know, I noticed he came out about the same time last week as well in the win up in North Carolina. He's probably got about an hour in him. He put in a good shift for Tampa Bay and put some fresher legs on.
Always difficult with the travel, although for Tampa, quite a short road trip, a plane in connecting in Atlanta. So sometimes it's trickier when you play the closer teams and you have to take the bus and it takes longer to get to them. The North Carolina trip, the players always talk about they'd rather be on a plane than a bus any day. Good lofty ball into the attack. Morel gets his first touches. Morel makes his 3rd start tonight, coming back from injury. He's got 1 assist on the season so far. His 2nd season with the Rowdies, was drafted by Chicago Fire in the 2016 MLS draft. A fantastic player who will join the trio up top.
Yeah, again, the battery doing well, keeping their shape. They are, frustrating to play against. Tampa just looks like they're running out of ideas at the minute. A little frustrated with the lack of runs, some of the players, and the quality of the passes.
It's going to be Archer. You can see him just stopping there. Doesn't have too much on. He opts for the long ball forward. Picked up by Morel. Can Morel get the strike away? Blocked by Skylar Thomas, but you can just see how much of an impact those fresh legs makes on the team. Tracks right across to get us back underway. Murad up into the attack. Ristov is on it again. Two attacking changes from Neil Collins. And just the one change from Mike Anhauser. But like we mentioned earlier, Tampa Bay really have got to start picking points up to stay within those playoff contentions.
Yeah, really even a draw doesn't help them as much as they would like. It almost, if you're going to lose 3-0, it's the same as losing 1-0 at this juncture in the season. So they may have to start throwing bodies forward here in the last 20 minutes. See if they can change the scoreline.
Well, for Mike Anhauser, they've spent the majority of the season in a very attacking formation with 3 at the back. This is something new for the Rowdies. It's just happened in the last couple of games. Really starting to throw numbers forward. Murad. Whitmire again just interrupting the path for Portillos. Portillos working hard down this near side. Morel. Well, again, Paul, it's Tampa with all the possession. What have the battery got to do to get it out their own half?
Well, to be fair, the battery doing a good job frustrating them. As I said, Tampa are looking to play through Charleston, basically inside the width of the 18. If I was Tampa, to be honest, I'd be looking to overload on the outside and get those 1v1, just like here, opportunities, and he wins himself a corner kick. It's very difficult to play through teams unless you've got, really special players in your side, inside the width of the 18. Typically the space to be found is all out wide.
This is going to bring up a corner kick opportunity. Portillos tracks across to take it. His 4th season with the Rowdies. It's going to be an in-swinger, a good delivery. It's Guenzati, and the battery do enough to get it out. But that was half a chance for the visitors. To the top of the box. Out wide again, it falls for Portillos. And this time, Kuzminski quick off his line.
Yeah, Kuzminski read that well. It's a difficult ball, that, running away from him. Just coming inside him.
Kuzminski just giving his team time to get up the field. So on the replay there. Opts for the long ball forward. We haven't really seen Gordon Wild have too many touches on the ball because it's been all in their own half. Takite solid at the back. Goes around the back line, involves Vega. Fans, you can get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. Poku opens up. He's got space in front of him. Looking for the through ball. It's Morel into the box. Can he get the strike away? It looked like Guenzati for the volley. Just wide of the target.
Yeah, Poku did well there. Playing inside to out looks like, to be honest, the most effective way to get around the battery. Tampa did very well there. Morel just comes inside on his left foot, unable to get the shot off, and the acrobatic effort just doesn't amount to much.
Guenzati been knocking at the door all night, causing problems for Taylor Mueller in the box. And it looks like below us, we're going to see another change in just a minute for Mike Anhauser. O'Brien Woodbine is ready to go below us. And for him just coming back from a small injury, like Anhauser said earlier this week, hopefully we'll see him close out the game tonight. And as we know, a great substitution, very defensive minded, but likes to get involved in the attack. Archer taps for Anunga. Around the back, the Battery go. Tampa just closing in on them out wide to Skylar Thomas. Good touch inside. Switches the flank looking for Rittmeyer. This time Portillos does just enough to stop them in the tracks. And here's that substitution that we were talking about. It's going to be the Japanese veteran Kotaro Higashi to make way, and on comes the MLS veteran O'Brien Woodbine. Second substitution of the night for Mike Anhauser. Paul, you've talked a lot about Kotaro Higashi in the game. A good game for him.
Yeah, he's very busy, especially in the first half. You know, a lot of energy, but even a person of his fitness is starting to feel the heat. And not seeing a lot of the ball. You know, quite honestly, the quality of the balls out of the back from the Battery haven't typically been good enough, and he's been a little bit of a spectator, you know, for most of the second half. But again, as we mentioned earlier, you get the same effort from him every night, which as a coach is, you know, fantastic.
Fans, a big applause for the exchange of both those players, both fan favourites here at MUSC Health Stadium. It's Poppy Miller alongside Paul Conway. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are, and a quick shout out to everybody who is joining us from Tampa or supporting the visitors tonight. Welcome to you guys. Anunga over the dead ball in the middle of the park. Just assessing his options, goes short to Archer. Safe defensive play from the home side. Mueller back to Kuzminski. Long ball up. Woodbine looking to get his first touches. Coming on as the substitute. Morel finding space down the far side. Puts the ball in. He got caught half between a cross and a strike there.
Yeah, it's, you know, good attacking play there. We just got to that all-important moment. The decision-making wasn't probably where it needed to be, but it was another good effort. You know, having some joy down that right side, Tampa.
Great pace, Alex Morel down the far side. Support finding the gaps, away by Kuzminski. Here comes the Jamaican international, O'Brien Woodbine. Woodbine been a mainstay for Mike Anhauser's side, 6 seasons with the Charleston Battery. Has years of MLS experience and USL experience. Great substitution. Wrist off. Leaves it off to Aduro. Into the middle of the park.
This is where the Battery needs to be careful. Tampa's done a good job there. Bolt's gotten some help there, which forces the ball back.
Good ball into the box. Could this be a chance? It's over the bar. Archer was there. But again, that direct ball delivery into the box, causing the Battery some problems, and Guenzati again knocking at the door.
Yeah, we talked about this early in the game. Guenzati's man on form right now. Just couldn't get his head over that one. But again, it seems like, you know, all of Tampa's chances are coming from that wide right position. Jay Bolt probably could do with a little bit more help out there quicker.
Portillos. Into the middle of the box, nobody there for the return, and easy for Kuzminski, but Ristov, just showing his fresh legs, looking to force into the attack. Woodbine leaves the volley for Bolt. Bolt takes his space. He's going to give it a free kick for Morel's challenge.
I think Jay Bolt, it's definitely a free kick here, but if you notice when he goes down here, he's remonstrating a little bit, I think, to his own teammates, looking for a little bit more movement, and that's been the problem for the Battery in the second half. Players are getting on the ball and they're not getting a lot of movement around them, which has led them to give the ball away a lot.
Well, with just about 10 minutes of regular play of the match, Paul, what are your thoughts so far?
Well, I think, to be honest, Mike Anheuser is fairly comfortable as we watch Tampa attack here. But
here comes Ristov, just got caught in his feet, but a fantastic ball into the attack. Portillos takes a touch inside, it's a good ball in, and Kelly intercepts it in the box. Here comes Wild. Could this be a chance for the Battery on the counter-attack? He starts to open up. He's only got Okonkwo with him. Cuts inside, great ball to Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer takes a touch inside, this time it's Okonkwo in the box. Takite doing enough. But again, Gordon Wild doing well to create something out of nothing.
Yeah, so when he came on, that's critical. When the ball goes into him, it sticks, as we say, and he was able to bring other players into the game. That allows the back three of the Battery to get out and play the game in Tampa's half.
And it's forced Portillos all the way back. He's got Morad just behind him, who he'll rely on. Back to Vega. Tampa patient build-up from the back line. Oduro. Gorski combines in the middle of the park. But back to your point, here comes another Rowdies attack. Get to that in just a second. It's Guenzati at the top of the box. Can he get the strike away? A good challenge from Mueller, who it looked like he just got caught in the last minute, and that's going to be a yellow card for Sebastian Guenzati.
Yeah, just a little bit of frustration there. I think his touch got away from him, and the tackle was certainly fair on the Battery, and just probably said something to the referee there. You can see that probably wasn't his best touch, but the ball ran loose there, and it was certainly a foul there by Guenzati.
Guenzati has been hanging on that last defender all night, looking to cause problems for the Battery back line in the box. Kuzminski opts for the long ball out the back. Picked up in the middle of the park, and here comes Wild. Again, can he create something? He's got Rittmeyer with him, a fantastic ball into the box. Just a bit of a heavy touch from Rittmeyer, but again, right idea.
Yeah, well, a good, good pace on that ball through, and Rittmeyer's put a good shift on. That's what happens sometimes late in the game. Your touch is not always where you need it. And again, he's done well getting forward there.
Rittmeyer got great pace, really exploits it down the wings. Murad out the back. Ristov drops deep into the midfield. Ristov with the captain's armband since Joe Cole's substitution. Oduro lays it out to Taku. Again, another patient build-up from the Rowdies. Portillos across the back line. Morel. Anunga in the middle of the park. Good defensive play from Anunga. A bit of trickery from Gordon Wild. Rittmeyer for Archer, opts for the long ball.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, there's not more communication coming from the Tampa bench to get the ball wide. Every time they try to play through the Battery, the Battery is very well drilled, and as I mentioned earlier, it takes something extraordinary to play through an organized group of 9-10 players, defending basically within the width of the 18-yard box. Any success that Tampa's had in the second half has really come from wide positions.
Here comes Okonkwo. Picks the ball into the attack. He hasn't got numbers with him, but finds Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer looking for the cross in. Again, safety in numbers from the visitors, and here they come at the other end. Could this be a chance for a counter? It's Ristov. Out wide, Portillos keeps it in. Looking to take a touch inside Archer. Archer looking for the challenge. Wild picks it up at the top of the box, combines with Okonkwo, the strikers deep in their own half helping defend. Wild telling him to send it long. Takite. Now the Rowdies really starting to build some momentum.
Yeah, you know, we've got about 5 minutes, 6 minutes left, and probably maybe a couple more with injury time, and they'll probably start throwing more and more bodies forward as this dwindles down the time.
It's wrist off. Can he keep it in? Does enough to stop it going out for a goal kick. And it'll be a battery throw. Neil Collins below me just applauding Ristoff for his effort there. It looked like maybe just out of bounds. And again, a good read from the Bulgarian veteran. 2 balls on the field. Holds us up, and it'll be Kuzminski to get us back underway. If the scoreline remains the same, he'll have his 11th clean sheet of the season. The battery right up there with defensive play, just trailing the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in clean sheets in the Eastern Conference. Here comes Kelly. Good challenge from Takite. Recycled in the middle by Anunga. It looks like both of them took a knock in the middle of the park. They're both down. And the referee just telling Vega to hold on to that one. And this will bring a chance for the medical staff to make their way on the field. Just 4 minutes left to play.
I didn't see this instance here watching the replay. I think it's just a collision between the 2 players and they fall awkwardly. And the big lad there, Takite, had stretched there. Felt that maybe in his groin.
Still very warm conditions here in Charleston, South Carolina throughout the game. Almost 9 o'clock Eastern time and 80 degrees. Everybody taking the opportunity to take some fluids on board. Hometown's Hero Night here at MUSC Health Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. And there is the supporters section. Bobby Weisenberger, big cutout as he helps the players back up on the field below us.
There's not many physiotherapists get their cutouts, so fans bring those to games.
The best supporters section in the USL. A cutout of just about everybody on the field at all times. And they love to show the cutouts when we've got a corner in the far side. We're back underway with just over 3 minutes of regular time here to play at MUSC Health Stadium. It's Patrick Okonkwo's goal in the 22nd minute that separated the 2 sides. As the old saying goes, only takes a second to score a goal, and here comes Gordon Wild. Can he find a one-on-one opportunity? Great play at the back from Takite, just throwing him off his path. And Vega quick off his line.
Yeah, good defending there by Takite. Looked like Wild may have had him by a step. He made up that ground quite easily.
Taco. Guenzati looking for the combination. Good clearance out the back, finds the feet of Wild. Across to Woodbine. Woodbine taking a touch. Just a bit of a late challenge, no damage done.
Battery will take that at this juncture of the game. Allows the back 3 to push out and waste a few more valuable seconds.
Great body strength from Takite defending Gordon Wild there. We know he's critical in the one-on-one situations. Many visitors, that is one person you don't want to have one-on-one with your goalkeeper. Takite on the ball. He's just signed recently this season. He's done such a good job of dropping into the back line and really cementing his position.
Yeah, he's certainly a presence back there. And he's done well. And to be fair, I don't know if 1-0 is actually a fair result. You know, some Mavs really haven't really put too many feet wrong, as they say, Tampa. But again, they're just caught napping for, as I said, a second and ended up in the back of the net.
Nunga in the middle of the park. Can the battery break away on the counter-attack? Kelly takes his space, looking for the through ball. Just too much on it for Okonkwo. But that really could have been a chance. And back to Dakite. He was suspended the last match against North Carolina FC, back in the lineup today. He's been fantastic this game for Neil Collins. Ristov looking to build momentum in the attack. Portillos takes a touch inside and battling with Rittmeyer in this late going.
Again, Tampa just lack any width, and just surprising.
Takes a touch inside. Kelly's forced to step. Guenzati looking to turn on Mueller. Woodbine on the far side. You can just see him out of your camera vision, just pulling the battery up, telling everyone to get their shape. Step up, sitting very deep in their own half, but absorbing the pressure well. Woodbine again. Falls back to Dakite. Throw in for the Rowdies just below us. We can see there's going to be 5 minutes of added on time here at MUSC Health Stadium. Could this be a chance for the Rowdies? It went all the way through, and Kuzminski does just enough to hold on to it. Well, if you're Rowdies and you see 5 minutes added on, you've got to be a bit excited, Paul.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit generous. We've had a few stops in the second half, but Mike Enheiser probably didn't think it was 5 minutes.
Ristov on the toes of Archer. Composed play from the youngster at the back as he lets it fall out for a goal kick. This is going to bring up Mike Hanhauser's final substitution. It's going to be Victor Mansaray to make his way on, and the goal scorer Patrick Okonkwo will make his way off. He separated the two sides with his 4th goal in 3 games. The Atlanta United loanee makes his way off the field, and let's get a look at that goal.
Yeah, again, he's put it right where it needs to go, across the goalkeeper off that back post. And they say goals change games, and his goal certainly changed this game. It's allowed the battery to sit in for the most part, and it's asked Tampa to break them down, which they haven't done yet. Fair play to them.
Another attacking change for Mike Hanhauser. It's Victor Mansaray to make his way on. 21-year-old appears in his 13th game tonight. Started 4 of the 12 previously this season. His first season with the battery. Really brings a lot of pace up top. Kuzminski, long ball out the back. Mansaray looking to get his first touches in the late going. Just over 2 minutes left, and you can just see him using his fresh legs, putting the back line under a bit of pressure, Paul.
Yeah, obviously he's been asked to go out there and run around, and that's exactly what he's done from the get-go.
The game really opening up now. Poku leads it through. Morel on the far side gets the crossing. Could this be a chance for Ristov? It fell at his feet. He wasn't quite ready. Guenzati there now. And Kuzminski gets a breather.
Again, Tampa having more glory through Morel on that right side, and it was a quality ball in. It deserved a better finish, to be honest, than what ended up happening there. A little bit scramble in the box, and again, it just rolls harmlessly to Kuzminski.
Again, a long ball from the goal kick for Kuzminski. Referee will wave offside. This will bring up an opportunity for Tampa to get us underway quickly. 2 minutes remain here at MUSC Health Stadium. We thank you again for joining us for tonight's match. It's been an exciting matchup, and it sure isn't over. Here come the Rowdies. Challenge from Anunga, recycled at the top of the box. Poku. Out wide to Gorski. Taku now. Delivery into the PK spot. Guenzati gets a head on it. And again, off frame for the battery.
Yeah, not a bad ball in, but I think Joe Kaminsky would have been disappointed letting a header in from that distance. Ends up going harmlessly wide.
Kuzminski. Lots of long balls out the back tonight, especially in the late going. It's for Mansouri. Victor Mansouri getting his first touches on the ball this match. Turnover in the middle of the park. It's been all Rowdies for the last 10 minutes. And you've got to say they've had the most of the possession throughout the game, but the Battery doing very well to hit on the counter and really exploiting those spaces.
Yeah, with only 4 losses, I believe, on the season for the Battery, they're a difficult team to break down. You know, it's a credit to the discipline of the players and the coaching staff. They're not a fun team to play against, and you know, Tampa haven't had much joy against the Battery tonight.
Especially on home soil, like we mentioned, the Battery have only lost 1 game, and it was the very first match of the season. So undefeated at home since March. And now just seconds remain here of extra time at MUSC Health Stadium. The referee is going to give Leland Archer a card for wasting time. Let's see if he can get us back underway quickly. Neil Collins absolutely furious on the sideline. The referee wants the second to be able to write it. He's telling Neil Collins that he's adding on this time and not to worry. Getting a little bit hectic down there.
Yeah, it's a little bit inexperienced for the referees, changing the tempo of the game at this juncture. Shouldn't be doing that. You know, he's got 3 other officials can figure out who's been booked.
Here comes Mansouri. Can he get the strike away? The strike's blocked at the last second. Well, it absolutely fell for him. He might want that one back, Paul.
Yeah, but you know, all things being equal, to probably take the corner kick. He's going in on goal there, and it's a good challenge in the end. And sometimes coming off the bench, things happen a little bit quick for you.
Great challenge, and that's just what Victor Mansouri is capable of. Always putting himself in the right place at the right time. It's going to be Gordon Wild over the dead ball, goes short, and now we can expect them to maybe just hold it down here as they kill the game. It's Wild doing what he can. Can Tampa break out their own half? Morel. Is it off? The fans below getting impatient. Is there another time? Another chance for one last Tampa attack? No, there isn't. That's going to be the full-time whistle here from MUSC Health Stadium. 1 goal separated the earlier 2 meetings between the sides. 1 goal separates them again tonight. It was Patrick Okonkwo in the 22nd minute. And it's 1-0 Charleston Battery. On behalf of Poppy Miller, Paul Conway, the entire broadcast crew, thank you so much for joining us for tonight's match. We'll see you guys next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.